The purpose of this video is to do a refresher on how to do the 3 assignments. I've given you a handout that shows that the SIMbook and the pause and practice, these lines right here, go together. This is how you go to the SIMbook to read the chapter, do the show me, guide me, let me try exercises, and then when you're in the book, you'll come to a pause and practice, and you'll have to stop and do your pause and practice. So let me reiterate that these icons here means that there's a page to read if you click on these links. So when you're getting ready to do your assignments, you have to look at every line up until the SimNet projects. Look at things, read things, watch things. If there's a video, you have to do all of this from Canvas and explore all parts of this module here, SIMbook and whatever the module is, pause and practice. So you'll click here, you'll read about the SIMbook, you'll watch the video, you'll look at this chart, and you'll familiarize yourself with how to do the SIMbook. Then, if there's any links before the SB, you have to, before the SIMbook link, you have to read that. Now, before you click on this link, you also need to go to the Module 1 Pause and Practice page. This is the assignment page. You'll come here at least twice. Once to read it before you start the SIMbook. And make sure that you understand exactly what you're supposed to do, which assignments you're supposed to submit. You also must look at the assignment sheet and know what pause and practice you should turn in. So you come here at least twice, once to read it before you go into the SIMbook, and then after you've completed the last pause and practice and you've determined what file or files you need to submit, this is where you submit them. So we'll go back. And I usually have lots of supplemental, sometimes not so much, but sometimes there's supplemental things that you need to look at before you go ahead and click on this SIMbook link. So you have to really do some prep time. You also need to go back to the chapter notes and see if there's any hints about the particular pause and practice that you're going to be working on. You can either do it from this link, but it's best that you download the notes, save them to a subfolder in your Word folder on your desktop, and have those at the ready. So you have to do a lot of work before you ever go into this SIMbook. Now, once you click on this SIMbook, you open it, and make sure that you scroll down. Don't just read the page and click this. Make sure that you scroll down and you look at everything. It tells you how many pause and practice there are. So the book is set up to maximize your learning. You want to read, do the show me, guide me, let me try. Like I said, if you're absolutely certain that you really already know and have completely mastered everything, you don't have to do the show me, guide me, but you have to do every let me try. So you do that, you scroll down, you do it all the way to the bottom of the page before you go forward to the next page. Read, do, learn, practice each page until you get to a pause and practice. When you get to this, you stop. You get out of this program, you can just minimize it if you want to, so you can come right back here after you do the pause and practice. And you open Word. You should have already printed out these instructions. You get out those printouts for pause and practice 1-1. You get yourself a pen or a pencil, and you sit down and you follow those instructions. If it says that you need a data file, then you should have already downloaded and stored the student data files in a subfolder in the Word folder on your desktop. So you stop here, you open Word. Now some students try and split up their screen and do the instructions from here, but it's really not a good idea. It's best to just print out the instructions, get out a pen or a pencil, and follow the directions. You open a new document in Word, you check that off as soon as you do it. You follow this direction, you check it off as soon as you do it. That way, if you have to stop in the middle of your document, you can't do the whole pause and practice at once. You save it to a subfolder, a pause and practice subfolder in your Word projects folder that's on your desktop. And then you'll have it checked off what you've done, and you'll be able to, let's say I've checked off this, 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 and this, and then I had to quit. If I have a check mark next to here, then I know when I come back to this, I start on this one. So print these out physically, do this. Now if you've just minimized it, you can just bring this right back up again and continue on. So to maximize your learning and retention, you learn, you practice, you learn, you practice, you learn, you practice, and then you have to stop and practice everything you just learned. If you go through and you do the pause and practice all at once, you're doing things out of order and it won't be retained by you as well. So let's say you closed out of here and went and did your pause and practice, and then you're ready to start back up in the SIMbook again. So you can go to the modules, go down, click on the SIMbook link again. It will open to this page, and instead of opening the SIMbook, if you're going back, you can scroll down to where you left off. So if you just finished doing pause and practice 1, you can just click on the next link and start up on the next section. So you don't have to thumb through the whole book to get back here. Okay? The main thing is, when you are on your dashboard, never click on these blue links to start doing your work. When you're on a module, don't click on these blue links, go to the module, make sure that you do everything on the module. I gave you a handout that shows exactly what you're supposed to do. You do everything one line at a time. The only lines that you do together is you study all of these before you click on this. If you start from the dashboard and go right to the SIMbook here, you won't have all the information you need to do everything correctly. So make sure you always start from the module. Review everything on the module, one line at a time. Do this section together. Now, I'm going to tell you one little exception. If you know you've already reviewed everything on this module, and you've had to stop and you want to come back to the SIMbook, then and only then can you go ahead and click on a SIMbook from here. But that's only after you've gone through the whole module. If you do things out of order in the module, then you can get to things and you can do things, but you won't learn it and retain it as well as if you're organized. And remember, on every chapter module that will turn up, I will reveal them right after each due date. the first thing I give you on every module is a module routine checklist and the assignment checklist. If you print these out and do what it says in the order it says and check off what you do, you can't go wrong. When you do an assignment, you can use the assignment checklist. There's a checklist for how you go through and complete a pause and practice assignment. There's a checklist for how you go through and do a SimNet project. Okay, so the SIMbook, and the pause and practice are done together. Each of these pause and practice helps you review and reinforce your learning for each section of SIMbook. When you get all done, you do a SimNet project. Sometimes there's one, sometimes there's two. And what the SimNet project is for is that it includes everything in the chapter. So you can, it's a test for you to know whether or not you learned everything in the chapter. The pause and practice is, did you learn everything in the section that you just did? Do the next pause and practice. Did you learn everything in the section you just did? Do the last pause and practice. Did you learn everything? And then you give yourself this whole SimNet project that covers everything in the chapter. Okay? So that's how you do the 3 assignments: the SIMbook, the pause and practice, and the SimNet project. Takes a while to learn how to do the SimNet project, but if you watch the videos, you read the best practices, you read the handout that I sent you today with how to work through a module, you just keep working at it. Then after about a week or 2, it'll all be routine to you. And I never change the routine, so once you learn it, you just work through each chapter, and then you can focus on learning where you won't have the frustration or annoyance of trying to learn how to work in the environment after that. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.